I'd like to welcome Deltia from Deltia's Gaming. You've probably seen his videos when you went to look up your ESO build, what kind of build you should have for your dungeon run, etc., etc. But more recently, in fact, just today, Deltia has released a video, and he's been into working out and lifting weights and living a balanced life. And that's why I really wanted to have Deltia on the show. Deltia, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I just released that year video of my little transformation. I call it gamer to gym rat, and it's changed my life. It really has. It's been great.
Well, I'll tell you what, I sat down and watched it this morning while I was at work, and it motivated. I was like, oh man, I gotta go to the gym. Doing so bad. I gotta go to the gym. So why don't, for those in our audience that might not know of you, why don't you just introduce yourself real quick and explain a little bit about your history?
Yeah, I mean, gaming's always been a big part of my life and everything, and I was really unbalanced for a long time. We had talked before, and I was in the dungeon playing 12 hours a day, being an addict, and basically I had to look in the mirror one day and say, I'm not being a good husband, I'm not being a good father, and I'm not being a good gamer, frankly. I need to make a change. And I'm like, well, I have this YouTube channel, and I've been doing a lot of Elder Scrolls Online builds and like guides and stuff like that, but I'm like, I want to document what it really takes. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to say this supplement did it, this super workout routine did it, but just show you what an average guy over 1 year, not some miracle thing, and just see how far I can take it and just go all the way. And I had gotten shape previously. I was in the Army. I did martial arts and stuff when I got out. So I had been in pretty good shape. So I knew genetically it was possible with the diet and exercise. But I'm like, all right, at this age, 33, I'm not 23 anymore. What can I do? And through the process, I'm telling you, just everything changed. Everything changed in my life. And I had to tackle a pain pill addiction. That was really holding me back. Opioids I was addicted to for 10 years. And I conquered that. It took me, 2-3 months getting off of that. And it was like, whoa, what am I doing with my life? And I really wanted to be a good example for my son. And balance gaming, and I found that I enjoyed gaming a lot more when it wasn't like 8-10 hours a day. And I see people struggling with that. And so hopefully people can learn from a lesson. I'm not perfect. I struggle with stuff every day, but just trying to be a good example best I can,
Let's start back at the beginning. When you decided to start working out, I know you had talked to me a little bit about burnout, that you were burning out of gaming, and I think that's something that all of us experience at some point or another. Can you talk a little bit about that, about your experience with burnout and how you got over it and how it felt?
Yeah, I mean, burnt out as far as gaming goes, definitely. I mean, I think you just have to play things that you like and not what everyone else likes, and just, not the revolving door of first-person shooters. But once I balance gaming and actually play it for what it's supposed to be, whether it's entertainment and or social, with MMOs, it's a social event, really. It became a lot more fun. I found the camaraderie was what I was looking for. And I put away the ego so much, and I want to be the best player, and I want to show everyone how great I am. And that's cool. And, that's a good thing. But I was like, well, my self-worth isn't tied up in a video game. It's entertainment. And I think I was caught up in the self-worth is my thing. And if I'm not super good, what am I? I'm not nobody. But it's like, well, that's not really the purpose of video game. It's not who I am as a person. And so now I'm like, well, I just want to play video games and dink around. I don't care how good I am. I'll try to share tips and things that I learn with people to save them time. But the burning out thing, and I'm really disappointed in the market and the industry as far as pay to win goes. And it's a business. I understand you got to get money and stuff like that. But it seemed the industry shift was, like Final Fantasy VII. I could buy that game and play it over and over and over. They had less development, less time, and it was a better quality game, honestly. I'm not saying graphically, obviously, that's a mute point. I'm talking about storytelling, rich music. You can't tell me they don't have the Call of Duty budget, right? And there was no packs in game. There was no someone holding back content with DLCs, so you'd have to buy it right away. You paid $60, and that was a hefty price, but you got the game. And I was really happy to see the industry, the gamers push back, like Battlefront 2. And, I don't mind them making money. And I will support an artist, musician, game developer. I'll buy their shirts. I'll buy in-game little cosmetic items, but that's what was just triggering me. And I was just, I had to call a spade a spade. And I was like, I get it. It's a business. We want to make money, but there's a way to do it without exploiting gamers. I was like, I'm tired of being the exploited gamer where they're trying to nickel them. Here's an ammo pack for $5. Here's a little, I'm like, I get it, but don't make it a part of, I get $100 and I get way ahead of this guy or gal,
How did transition go from gaming 8 to 12 hours a day to now I want to be more balanced? Did you have to take a step back from gaming altogether, or were you able to do it all simultaneously and just figure out how to balance your time? I know at times I go through that personally, and I have to adjust when I'm gaming, how long I'm gaming for. You know what I mean?
I mean, it took months and months and months of screwing up, trial and error. And I'm just an all or nothing guy. So, I just basically went from gaming tons of time to saying I'm going to go very little. 2 hours a day, 1 hour a day. And I'm going to do 1 million hours of cardio and I'm going to work out all the time. Well, the body doesn't respond to that. And so you can only work out so much in a day.
Sure, yeah.
And that's where the balancing comes in. And so at first, it was like, oh, I'm just going to work out. I'm going to get ripped right away. Didn't happen. And I was almost going counterproductive because I was going so much where my body was fatigued and stressed. And I wasn't enjoying gaming, and I was just, I had these two conflicting worlds. And so obviously I had to balance it and say, look, dude, you're not going to be Mr. Olympia in 1 year. So enjoy the training, do that, and really focus on the food. Really focus on what you're eating. And, I found I love walking, infantryman in the Army. And so that was something I could do that really didn't stress my nervous system. I could incorporate it with my family. So when my wife and guy got off work, my son, take him. He wakes up at 5 a.m. We get up really early. So it's like, well, in the summertime, I'll walk with him. So there I spend time with my family. I'm exercising. I'm not stressing my central nervous system. And then I can do, 1 hour of hardcore ass workout and then have a productive day. But at first I screwed up. I mean, I am a classic example of extreme. And so I'm going to screw up over and over and over and over. And that's kind of the message of the thing that was part of the reason my body wouldn't respond for the first 4 months. I was just doing too much. And you have to work your way up to it. And in gaming, there's diminishing returns. There's diminishing returns in your body. So you want to do the least amount to get the most result as the very end process. Because when I was that ripped and lean, getting an ounce leaner took extraordinary effort. Where at the very beginning, it didn't. And as far as balancing gaming, the number one thing and the number one advice I can give people, and this took 10 months, like I said, to realize, is take a day off of it. 1 day off. So I'm talking very limited usage of the phone, very limited usage of the PC, absolutely no games, no solitaire, nothing on your phone. You take a day off from everything else. You take a day off from work. You take a day off from, so what I did is Sunday fun day with my family. No gaming. I ain't answering emails, doing nothing like that. You're just going to have to deal with it. We're going to go to the zoo. We're going to go to a museum. We're going to go have dinner at my folks. And it was like, wow, that was the biggest thing, is that when it was just Sunday, it's like, nope, this is what we're doing. And that was the best balancing point, because you get excited about playing games Monday. It's not a chore. It's not a thing I mandatorily have to do and log in and do dailies. And through this experience, I kind of like reference it in my videos, life dailies. You got to spend time with my family, exercise, do something for others. It's a simple checklist. It's a simple rule of what I come to value. And realistically in life, all you have is your values and your actions based on that. So people define success on how many views, how many subs and stuff like that. I don't. Look, all I have is my values, and my actions speak, and I work towards those. So what creating a positive gaming environment. There's tons of other toxic gamers out there that get tons and tons of views. I'm not interested in that. I'm going to do the thing, make a little safe space, have fun, enjoy life, try to be a good example, because that's all we have is our little values. And they're different from everyone else. They can be different, but just work on them. That's all you have. And once you work on your values and stop worrying about how popular you are, how good you are at a video game, and you enjoy it for what it is, life opens up, starts blossoming. And my life ain't perfect. Video games aren't perfect, but you can like all the little road bumps and blocks in your life, you realize, okay, it's just a part of it. It's just a part of it. And like me starting off this journey, it was hard to believe. It was hard to believe from how fat I was and how out of shape I was. And like my body didn't change right away, but you just had to believe it was possible and just keep at it.
How long did it take you to get into the zone, the balanced life, the gaming, the workout, putting it all together, and now you're in the zone? How long did it take you to get there?
It was honestly 8 months. 8 months. Yeah, a year of as in January, mid-January. And so roughly August is when I kind of figured out, end of August type time frame. My body fat was really high, and I was at 215 pounds. And I got down to 175, which doesn't sound like a lot of weight. It was 40 pounds, but I was at less than 7% body fat, like ripped to the bone without drugs. So I was proud of my success, and I built a lot of muscle. I got lean, but it took every ounce of a year to do it and peak. But I learned so much through the process. It was just like you're your own science experiment. And I just read and just kept, okay, well, maybe this works. Maybe this works. But once you light the fire, once you figure it out for you, because everyone's different based on their genetics. Once you figure out the diet, the balancing, the gaming, find a game you really like that's rewarding, find a community that's positive. Do it. Stick with it. But it took 8 months. Because, I was just extreme. I'm just going to work out. Well, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't make my life valuable. So it's like, I forget who said it, but you have all these aspects of your life: family, friends, your job, and then your health, right? And if you neglect any one of them, it starts affecting the other ones. So it's a balancing act of trying to maintain them all at the similar level. And, towards the last 8 weeks or so, I told my wife, like, look, I'm going to have to go hardcore, anal retentive about food. And that causes a lot of conflict because people aren't going to get it. And it's the food. It's the food, hands down. So I remember walking out of my grandma's funeral, and I had a cold chicken breast and broccoli, and I'm eating it. And that's just kind of the type of dedication you got to have. For me personally, some people have the genetics to do it, but it was just, and then the gaming was so much more fun when I came back to it, because I was like, okay, well, this isn't the only thing going on in my life. It really isn't. But it's a fun part of it.
So as you took a step back and focused more on your health and your family, did you find that gaming was enhanced more?
I wouldn't say enhanced, because at first my skill level was so off, but I really wasn't used to it. I think most people, there's certain talented people, like my buddy Cypher PK. That guy could pick up any game, and 5 minutes into it, he's really good. But they don't also see that he plays 12 hours a day or 10 hours a day or whatever. And so he has talent, but he works really hard. And that's what produces a 1%er. Me, I didn't have so much talent, but I played enough to overcome that. So when I went back into gaming, and I kind of it's like, well, do I step in tippy toe and I'm not that good? Or do I go and lose all of this again? So it's like the mental amount. I enjoyed it more. My time in the game became valuable, rewarding, fun, and had a purpose. Because we've all been there where we're logging into a game where it's like, I'm logging in just to say I logged in, or I'm logging in to do a daily, or, well, dude, it's not a job for you. Even if it is your job, try to find some type of value or something. So making it about other people is what I found to be the most enjoyable, is trying to, help other people, try to train them up, get them gear, just do something else. Cause like I've accomplished everything I want in the game. So it's not that much fun. But to answer your question, I wasn't necessarily saying enhance. It just took a different role, a different feel, which I wasn't used to. And at first I didn't like it.
Oh man, I can imagine. That's so frustrating, because you go from being at the top of your game and playing all the time to probably, and I don't know if this is the right word, but casual. You go to a more casual approach. Regardless, your game skill obviously suffered, right?
Yeah, your approach changes, and it's hard to deal with. We have egos, and I'm no different. And I want to be good at whatever it is I do. And you have to kind of somewhat let that go and be who you are and be okay with it. And it took a minute for me to do that. It really did.
You're a big MMO guy. Elder Scrolls Online is your game. And I know you took a break from that. I jumped into some Destiny 2 for a while. I watched some of those videos. What did you think of it? And how was switching from an MMO to a Destiny 2?
Well, what I thought of Destiny was interesting, and the fact that Elder Scrolls was such a hamster wheel in terms of you had to play so many hours a day to be relevant in terms of gear, getting farming materials to upgrade your gear, so on. It was a big time commitment. And you also had to factor in the skill. Where Destiny was like the hamster wheel wasn't there. In fact, there was no hamster wheel, where they basically like, you'd beat this raid or whatever they called it. Leviathan was the first one. And then you couldn't get any rewards for an entire week. So it was basically like you go in there, you finish all your stuff, and then you're done for the week. So it's like you have a super grindy hamster wheel that MMOers are used to, and then you have Destiny where it's like there almost is none. I mean, after the initial grind of getting your characters up. Now, for me, balancing work and all that stuff, it was actually really nice. I liked that. But then I kind of felt that itch where it's like, well, you need to reward players in some fashion, not maybe necessarily power. So the person that can only play an hour a day, who has a job and a family and this and that, doesn't, isn't completely irrelevant to dude that sits there and plays 12 hours a day. You have to find a way to make both of those players somewhat even. So the 12-hour a day guy or gal can, get a cool costume, can get a cool title, can get some glowy, shiny things. They'll play all day for that. Where the person that comes on an hour, well, they're not super irrelevant. So that's such a hard thing to do for gamers. And I think Destiny 2 missed that. And, after a while, I was like, well, I need to go do something else. But I loved the game. It was beautiful, had great lore and stuff. It was like what I wanted Mass Effect to be. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, there was very little to keep me playing besides the people.
Yeah, a lot of people felt like that. So did you have a chance to jump into Destiny 1, or was this your first Destiny?
Yeah, this was my first Destiny. So I didn't experience, and a lot of people were saying, comparing to the first game, I really had no frame of reference in regards to that. But, as a long-time MMOer, these first-person shooters are now becoming MMOs because they see, essentially, they can keep people attracted. And they can make tons and tons of money. And, they can get pay to win stuff where you can get weapons instantly. And that's another good example of it, So it was one of those games, I think it was good and stuff like that. But, it's going to take them a year to get adjusted to what the community wants. And most likely shooter people, they're on to something else, unless they have a really good community.
Very cool. So I'm a gamer. I go and watch your video. I watch your Gamer to Gym Rat for the first time, and I think, all right, I need to start. I need to get my life together. I need to get my butt in shape, but it's intimidating. Going to the gym is intimidating. There's so much out there. There's so much information. Sometimes it's contradicting information. What advice do you have for a gamer looking to get fit?
Keep it simple, stupid. Honestly, are carbs good or carbs bad? Is running good for you? Is running bad? You look online, you'll find the answer that you want. But is it the right thing? Start with the basics. Movement, eating less if you're trying to lose weight. If you're trying to gain weight, eat more. What should you eat? It's simple. Start with vegetables. No one wants to hear it. It will. How to get freaky ripped? The most freaky ripped human beings on planet Earth eat vegetables 8 times a day. There's no secret. It's the most impactful for you. It doesn't taste the best. It's the lowest calorie. It's the most nutrient rich. It's just an incredible source. So switch your carbohydrate source to that and walk. People over exaggerate. Like, they think that you have to go to the gym and lift weights and do this. If you don't like it, you're not going to stick with it. It's better to find something that you like, whether it's yoga, martial arts, walking, riding a bike. It doesn't have to be hardcore unless you want to take it to that place. But start with the simple, basic stuff, which is people would not believe that entire year process. I did not do cardio. I maybe rode the elliptical a couple times and did intervals. I did like sprints and stuff like that. But if you're talking about steady state, going for a run, right? I just didn't do that. It was just walking at key times. So I wanted to do that to show, look, you don't have to be a marathon runner to be lean. That's not how this works. It's really the diet. And so going back to the diet, look, protein, people, it's the new hot buzzword thing. All this stuff is cyclical. If you're working out a lot with weights, you need a lot of protein. If not, you don't. Stick with fruits, stick with vegetables, eat the right things that are unprocessed, some lean, proteins here and there, nuts, almonds, the stuff people have been telling you forever. You know what to do. It's just doing it. And it's the consistency. It's better to go 85% on your diet than it is to go 95 for one day and then completely goof off the next. Okay, I'm back on the diet. So if you have to have an Oreo a day to stay on chicken and broccoli, do it. It's that consistency. Consistent. You can't screw off and then expect these results. Just being consistent.
Do you have a cheat meal or a cheat day?
All the time. So it's actually really good for your metabolism to do that, because your metabolism will adjust to the amount of food you're eating. So the approach that I took was, all right, I'm going to spend 4 or 5 months eating as much as I can, clean food, to where I'm not gaining body fat. So I'm going to speed that metabolism up. And then slowly I'm going to either take food away or I'm going to add exercise in the form of walking or something that's not good, not stressful on my central nervous system. But once a week, twice a week, I got to have Five Guys. I got to have that 2,000 calorie Five Guys burger, a large fry, and just go to town. And it speeds up my metabolism. I feel better. I'm in a good mood. And usually you do that once you feel depleted, once you're not excited about going to the gym, once food is just on your mind 99% of the times. All right. And there was times, you're going to screw up. I'm a human being. I screwed up. I remember a couple of times, diet was driving me so crazy that I found a box of Oreos. I smashed the whole thing.
The Costco box too hot.
Oh, it was huge. It was huge. My wife had one Oreo, and I just like a dog. I was like a filthy animal. You would set this food in front of me, and I don't think I was done there. I got a couple of Pop-Tarts and everything else. It was just, it couldn't be enough. And so you're going to screw up, forgive yourself, move on, and learn from it. So the thing I learned from that was, all right, it's probably better to eat a little bit more the day before than go to crazy animalistic mode. And reward yourself. So if I lost a pound a week, which is what I was aiming for at certain times, I'd go have a cheat meal and celebrate, have some pop, have French fry, and boom, go for a walk. And I'm back on it.
So a pound a week was your goal, and you talk a lot about goals. What about gaming goals? Do you set gaming goals? Do you think you should set gaming goals?
I think that's really good. I think that's really important and something that people don't do. So one of the big ones I had was becoming Emperor in Elder Scrolls Online. And it took me 2 years to do that. I failed live over and over and over, and failed and failed and failed and failed. Another one is this Veteran Maelstrom Arena, which is essentially a solo player, hard PvE thing.
Sure.
And so you can treat this fitness thing and gaming the exact same way. Because if you can be successful at one thing, you can be successful at anything. So it's just breaking it down into measurable attributes, practicing, seeing what the best people on planet Earth do and modeling your behavior at that. You do the exact same thing in a video game. So for getting Emperor, I found out what were other Emperors doing? What are the things that I need to do this? Who do I need to recruit on my team? How much skill do I need to have this? So setting goals in video games is really, really important if you're looking to accomplish specific things. And if your goal is entertainment and stuff like that, focus on community. Am I spending time with people that I want to spend time with? Because, I'm going to be honest with you. When you're quote unquote an elite player, I'll never say I was the best at any one thing, but there was times where I was pretty good. Hanging out with other elite players becomes bothersome. Really? we're all trying to one up each other. Everyone's, thinking that the other person's a cheater. It's not exactly, it's very competitive, and sometimes it's not the best atmosphere you want to be in. So there's a cost to it. You're going to spend a lot of time, but accomplishing those goals, man, accomplishing Emperor Elder Scrolls Online is still one of my greatest gaming moments in history. And some people got it easy. I didn't. I had to work for it. And so when I got there, it was really, really rewarding. So if you have something in gaming you want to do, just put it out there. Don't think it's going to happen overnight, because all these really good players like my buddy Cypher PK or whatever, he plays a lot. He's very talented, but he plays a lot. He looks at all the math behind the game. So it's more than just picking up a controller if you really want to accomplish something.
I think you've touched on something that I absolutely love, and that is gamers are best equipped to be successful. For instance, the hard work and discipline that it takes to be successful in a game is the same hard work and discipline it takes to be successful at work, with your family, the same discipline it takes to be the best Call of Duty player, the best at Destiny, the best ESO player. It's the same discipline and hard work that it also takes to be successful at the gym, in your career, with diet and exercise. The consistency, it translates so well that I think gamers are some of the best equipped people to be successful in any area of life, but we don't talk about it. And I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it with your YouTube channel, the way you live your life, this year-long journey of gamer to gym right. And I think you're the epitome of that. So please keep it up.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But gamers get a bad rap. But honestly, like if most gamers would approach their life or their goals like we do dailies in our gear, I mean, we have all the tools to accomplish those things, right? And we have the attitude. And it's just that never die. I don't care how many times I fail, because when you succeed at whatever you do, no one gives a crap about the pictures I posted a year ago when I was fat. It's about the results. No one gives a crap about me failing at Emperor 100 times. It's about the time I got it. Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein. I mean, you go Tesla. I mean, Elon Musk. You go through the greatest titan giants of our society. They failed over and over and over, but they weren't afraid to get back up and keep going. So some people are more talented. Some people have better genetics. Some people are gifted at video games. I can't control that. But what I can control is my effort and my never quit attitude. That's what I can control.
Oh, amen to that. So what's next for you? What's the next big game you're looking forward to jumping back into, or into, not back into, but into?
I like Elder Scrolls Online, but the MMO genre has really changed. And I think there's a couple of the Kickstarter games that may change the market, specifically Ashes of Creation. So the thing about Ashes of Creation is still in early development, pre-alpha, and being a part of that and possibly influencing the development on the game, as in when it comes out in 2 years from now, it could be something that, harkens back to the old school MMO, which essentially is community is the number one most important thing. Players make the game. As in, like, I remember getting a phone call when I was playing Warhammer Online at work. My friend's like, dude, they're taking our guild keep. I need you to get off work right now. Like, you have to come online, defend this keep. Now, that was a little bit extreme in my college days or whatever, but like, it was about that sense of community. It was that camaraderie. And I just don't find the need for that in today's game. So I really like these Kickstarter games because they're taking risk. And nowadays, everything's just a AAA, rehash with a different skin. They got the shooter of the month that everyone flocks to. And I'm just uninterested in it. You and I were talking beforehand. We're talking about Fallout 4. I still play that game, and I love it. I love it. Rich storytelling. The environment's amazing. And if people crank out great single-player games, I'll crush them. I'll play them all day. And that Monster Hunter game, I know just came out, got great reviews. So it's something I need to expand. Is it good?
Monster Hunter is absolutely blowing my mind. Okay, ready for this? I struggle in a lot of games doing the grinds and the fetch quest type of missions, doing the same thing over and over to level up your character. But something about Monster Hunter has me looking forward to almost every quest or bounty that they have. It's amazing.
I'm going to have to check it out. But yeah, I need to expand my horizons and get out of my comfort zone. I constantly talk about that, But yeah, when it comes to gaming, I don't take risk. Like, if it's not from this developer or something, and I think you and I had talked about Zelda and some of the games the Nintendo products were coming out with were really spectacular. And I don't know. It's like, as an MMO guy, if you're not playing your main game, you're not like advancing your stuff, So dude, I'm going to spend an hour playing. I might as well get in there and get this gear, and so I need to take some risk and play some different game and find what lights my fire.
On that note, and I said this a couple months ago, Bethesda has become one of my favorite current developers. What they're doing is refocusing on single-player story games. When you look at Wolfenstein, Doom, Prey, The Evil Within, Bethesda is really behind these single-player story games, and I love it. And speaking of ESO, a lot of people are guessing a new Skyrim announcement this E3 or an Elder Scrolls announcement this E3? How awesome would that be?
I'd freak out. I mean, I lost my life when Skyrim came out. I mean, I'll tell you a story real quick. I was off teaching, and 11/11/11. Never forget it. I bought, I was in Baltimore, Maryland, thousands of miles from home. I bought a laptop, $1,000 laptop, just to play it for this weekend. Comes out on a Thursday. I did not leave my hotel room until I had to show up for work at Monday at 7 a.m.
Wow.
I mean, you're talking about like you go on this game and you're like, dragon breathing fire, snow falling down. I go, oh, there's a butterfly. The butterfly is leading to a cave. 2 hours later, I leave the cave. Oh, wait, there's a skeever. Oh, the skeever's in a cave. What's in here? It's like that is gaming, that super, enthusiastic. I got to just keep finding out what's here,
Oh man, the immersion that Skyrim had was so good, where you feel part of the world, you're affecting the world, for instance. And I'll never forget this. The first time I saw a giant in that world, I was in the snow, giant comes down with this huge club, and I was blown away. I was terrified, but I was blown away. And that's just something that movies can't give you. That's why I love gaming. There's no other medium that can get me that kind of immersion that video games can.
Yeah. It's your story. And remember, like, the first time you killed a dragon, you go back to Whiterun, spoiler alert, and the town guard's like, you really killed that I can't do an imitation. You really killed that dragon or whatever? And I was like, dude, this is my life. I love this game. Like, every little quest nuance that you did affected each other. Yeah. And that's what I miss about, MMOs is like these daily quests and stuff like that, but you're really just grinding. There's no that immersion where it's like guard talks to me, blah. And yeah, they really do a good job of, getting it ready to go. I mean, sometimes their launches have been skeptical at best with some bugs and stuff, but today's game, they're so complicated, so big, I can, deal with a little bit of that. But to keep it in-house, and if I was an employee, oh my God, I'd be texting my friends like, dude, you can't believe what we made. You think killing dragons is cool? Fusro, no, wait till you see this. You know what I mean? I'd be going crazy.
He is Deltia from Deltius Gaming. Go check him out on YouTube. Be inspired by him. Deltia, where can people find you? And what's coming next?
Yeah, I mean, as far as what's coming next, I want to be streaming Ashley Creation, maybe a little Crowfall. And Elder Scrolls Online, of course, as always. But DeltiasGaming.com is my website. That's kind of the main hub. Same with the YouTube channel and Twitter. And this year, what I want to focus on is community, both online and in person. So I'm trying to, as crazy as it sounds, trying to open up my own gym free for veterans. I'm a veteran. It's something I believe in. And to be honest with you, if I didn't have little bodybuilding or this life change, I'd still be a bad dad. I'd still be a bad husband. I'd still be a bad gamer, where lock myself isolated and streaming, and that stuff is fun, but you got to contribute to society. So if I can light that spark for one person, if I can give them a safe place to push it and find out what they're made of, my life will be worth it. So that's what I want to focus on this year. And it's going to be a challenge, just like, everything else, but I'm willing to keep doing it, fail, and just takes one time to succeed.
That's awesome. Keep us updated. Thanks so much for being on the show.